Hi, in this video we're going to take a look at problem number 93 from page 303. This is a particularly challenging problem because we have three fractions with rather large denominators and we need to find the least common denominator for 26, 65, and 104. Because they're so large and there are three of them, I would recommend using prime factorization to find the least common denominator. So we'll do the prime factorization of 26. That breaks down to 2 times 13. The prime factorization of 65. That breaks down to 5 times 13. Those are both prime. And the prime factorization of 104. Let's see, I can break this down to 2 times 52. 2 is prime, 52 breaks down to 2 times 26, 2 is prime, and 26 breaks down to 2 times 13. So 104 equals 2 to the third times 13. So our least common denominator has to include 2's, 5's, and 13's. So if we'll look at these prime factorizations separately to determine how many of each one to include. So looking at 2's, 26 has 1, 65 has none, and 104 has 3. So the largest amount that any single factorization has is 2 to the third. So we will include 2 to the third. We only have 1 5, so we'll include 1 5. And for 13's, we have 1, 1, and 1. 1 in each factorization. So the largest amount of 13's that any single factorization has is 1. So we'll include 113. So then we need to multiply all these numbers together. 2 to the third is 2 times 2 times 2, or 8, times 5 is 40, times 13 is 520. So we have a pretty large least common denominator. So we need to write equivalent fractions with our new denominator of 520. So then we need to look and say, okay, 26 times what gives us 520? Well, we have to multiply by 20. So we're going to multiply by 20 over 20. 7 times 20 is 140. 65 times what gives us 520? Or the other way of doing this is to take 520, divide by 65 to figure out what that number is. If we do that, we'll find out that we need to multiply by 8 over 8. 28 times 8 is 224, and 104 times 5 is what gives us 520, so we're multiplying by 5 over 5. 51 times 5 is 255. So now that we have our common denominator, we can do our addition and our subtraction. So in terms of adding, we need to add 140 plus 224. 140 plus 224 is 364. So if we do just this step here, the first step, we got 364 over 520. And then our last step is to subtract the 255 over 520. So 364 over 520 minus 255 over 520. So we subtract 364 minus 255, and we're left with 109 over 520. And that fraction cannot be reduced, so that is our answer.